Mark, good evening. Thanks for joining me on the Elephants team call this evening, our training academy. And what we want to look at tonight is how to build your community. And just a few things that I've been looking at that's probably going to assist you a little bit in your marketing. And that's the word trading. What happens when people hear trading, it immediately sort of triggers a skepticism in them. And if you really think about it, NWP is not a trading platform. Yes, trading is used, that's the way that the weekly money is made, but it's effectively a savings. And I think if our focus shifts from the idea of trading and all that negativity of the past that was associated with trading companies, if we focus on the savings aspect, we will attract a much wider audience. Because if you think about it, people who want to save, they could be involved in other companies as well. You know, we're not a network marketing company per se where you have to put all your attention in here and spend all your time. A lot of people do this as purely a part-time sort of way of making some extra money. And that's the way we need to look at it. And our target audience is very much those people. So the primary need of these people is financial confidence and superior income of their capital. So that's what we're looking at. If we look at our target audience, that's these are a more sophisticated type of person, not just them, for everyone really. But if you're looking at that at the typical person that saves, this is the person that's just going to put his money in and get a good return. They just value security, simplicity, and a hands-off approach. So when they hear the word trading, for instance, they kind of like think they have to get involved, because many people have this idea that when you trade and there's those companies that provide signals and you always have to be doing something and you have to be active in it. This is not an active system. It's a hands-off system. And that's the value proposition that you take into people. They can simply deposit their money, they're going to get their weekly earnings, and they can be happy knowing that it's a predictable system. Sorry.
Sorry for interrupting you on this, but what I've noticed is with posting on LinkedIn, like we've been doing, it's as if I'm gradually getting traction from people that thought this might be another Ponzi scheme or something, just from the likes that I'm seeing on my posts that I'm putting on.
Okay.
It's as if there's more traction coming from people just by liking it from the posts on LinkedIn.
Right.
So I think that is already a big positive, So I think if we just continue on that route, it will eventually gain momentum and attract more people towards investing in the company.
Yes. And with that in mind, you'll see here that, normally every week we say trading results. And from this week on, I'm going to not say trading results anymore. I'm just going to say this week's income, which will also sort of move away from that idea of it's trading. We're not going to be say that it isn't trading. When people say, "Well, how are the profits made?" Certainly, you're trading on the brokers and the traders are trading on the forex markets, and I mean that's clear if you watch the videos and that sort of thing. But when you see your income, it must never be perceived as that you had to do something to get that weekly income. You simply put your deposit in there and you got your week's income. So that's why the move away from the trading results to the purely this week's income approach. And then more focus on the Saturdays, the payouts, the people receiving their weekly money. That's important. So that's the way we're going to shift the marketing and those posts that are put out on the groups for people to see. They'll be able to see more things around the the results and the measurable that comes to them on a weekly basis.
Yeah, and the other thing I've realized is that with one of the people that I've registered under me, I send him updates every once in a while. I don't send him all the updates from what you send to us on the groups. So I'll send him what I think is relevant for him. And he's very happy about that. I get positive feedback from him each time, just saying that it's very I don't know the English wording now, but he's Afrikaans, so he'll say it's gerusstellend, and it helps him to have more trust and that type of stuff, So it's really gaining momentum.
So it's that consistency that people rely on, and that's the important thing. People are starting to understand the consistency and the predictability of the NWP system, and that's why we change it from the results to this week's income. It's kind of like the expected, it's there, and it's delivered. When we look at this, the next thing is that it's more of an engineered growth than a haphazard system. And here, sort of the focus would be on your money is capable of so much more. And that's sort of the messaging that you need to get across to people, is that they'll save and they'll get a couple of percent in a year. Whereas here they're able to receive consistently a couple of percent in a month. And that makes a big difference. And it's to get that across. It's secure, it's reliable income. And that's what we need to focus on. Then the next part would be the capital safety. And when you're doing posts or whatever you're sharing, try avoid those complex trading graphics, where like often if you look for pictures and that, you'll find complex graphics showing trading and all that sort of thing. Peace of mind is and the foundation is simplicity. They need to understand that the idea that their capital is safe. And that's why this graphic, which I shared on the groups earlier today or yesterday, where it's simple. It shows that your capital is accessible, the profits are separated, and there's weekly accountability by the traders, because that's what builds the whole sustainability of the system. So those are
and really, also the fact that it's transparent.
Yes, exactly. And that's what it's all about. That the fact is right up front, that there's that 50-50 profit split on a weekly basis. How everyone's getting paid. It's not a secret about how anyone's getting paid or what they're getting paid. And that makes it very transparent as well. These are the key features of those three safety things. Is your liquidity is there, your money's never locked, it's there when you need it. The profits are separated, and that's very important, because in most systems, profits aren't separated, and that often causes a problem. So, and then because of that, a weekly accountability, the traders are disciplined. And it's guaranteed that they will be disciplined because they need to pay you every Saturday. Those features make the system so different and so unique. Looking at January, because December's almost over, the new month, and people won't have money. You need to change your focus on how you speaking to people, especially in January, because people don't really have money in January. They're all broke from Christmas and the December period. So it's about encouraging them to get started with their weekly income. And that's really when we've got to show people in January is our weekly payouts, and share stories about your weekly income. And it's small. It doesn't have to be big. You don't have to think, I have to be earning thousands. It's a couple of dollars that you draw, and share that with people to show them that you're actually still earning a weekly income. When they are really struggling in January and they've got no money, you've still got a weekly income coming to you. So that's going to make a big difference to get us going in January. looking at, your potential earnings from different things. And, even though it's a small income, you've got to always think about you building up your weekly income. And by building up your weekly income, that's going to make the big difference. I mean, if you look at it here, and this can be looked at as a direct bonus or a binary income, depending on the volumes in your legs. But I mean, if you had $10,000 in your weakest leg, for instance, that's around about $30 that you're going to be earning on your binary. And $30 is more than most people started with. And you earning that on a weekly basis, and it just grows from there. So, that's one thing you've always got to keep in mind, is that you're building up your weekly income. And as your team grows, it's just your income's going to grow more and more. The community growth is really what we want to focus on in January. The whole idea is to get people in and show them that they can earn money even if they don't have a deposit themselves, because ultimately they might have a deposit at the end of January, but they don't have to wait until the end of January to get started. They can register themselves, become a partner, and they can start telling their friends. So when their friends are ready, and even when they are ready, they'll already be in the system. And getting a position in the binary will always be to your advantage as the team grows. And there's many people that can, bear witness to that they joined, they maybe didn't do anything at the start, but the team grew and they're starting to get an advantage from that. So, it's about being patient. So many times people will tell you, yeah, I'm thinking about it. Well, while they're thinking about it, get a position, because even if they decide not to do something, they've still got a position and they can still see that team growing underneath them, which becomes very important. Don't miss the opportunity to get people and let them get started, even though they aren't ready to or haven't got any money to put in yet. And remember, they can still earn from the affiliate plan, even if they don't have any money in the system. The real target for January would be to find as many people as possible. And there's a very interesting number that comes through in a lot of the research that I've done. And that's to have 75 people on your left-hand side and 75 people on your right-hand side. And that can be made up anyway. And the 75 is about numbers of people more than it is about what they actually invested. Because the 75 becomes very apparent when you start looking at, out of 75 people, you'll actually find 10 people that are going to build. And 10 people that are going to build are going to cause the 75 people to grow to 750 people. And that's what you're looking for. So when you've got 75 people in your leg, you'll find that there's one or two people who start building, and those 10 emerge, sometimes even more. But 10 is definitely the number of builders that you'll get from the 75 people in each leg. So you've got 10 builders in each leg. You've got a very good, solid business going forward. And I've just given a little example there of, if there's 75 people, let's say they each put in $50, that's 3,750. And that's in the first month. After 12 months, that has grown. It's more than, sometimes it's more than doubled. And you'll see there that the month 1 and 12 in the white there is typically from the normal monthly returns and them reinvesting. However, from personal experience, what that person who started with 50 is got by month 12 is he's typically got about 190 on average. So he's more than tripled his money just because of him earning some bonuses, bringing some people in, and maybe putting some more money himself. And, the structured program as well, where people put in a regular amount every month. That's what savings is about. And when they get into that savings rhythm, that's when things really start growing. Your goals as a team builder should be as follows. Your first goal is to get about 75 people in each leg. And remember, that's not just you, it's you and your team. So, encourage the others, and it's to give them the tools to enable them to grow. Your goal one is really 75 people in each leg. Typically, that's a weekly binary of about $10. Moving up to about 5 times that amount, that's a $50 weekly binary. And the third goal, and when you're at that 750 level where your business is really on autopilot at that stage, where you're earning $100 a week and it just goes up incrementally from there. But, if you think about it, that's $5,200 in a year, and it's completely passive, but that's really what it's about, is to get yourself into the just numbers. And when you do the numbers, and as your business grows, well, the income comes automatically. It is really about finding the 75 so that you can find the 10 and your business can grow. As I mentioned, there it is. 75 will give you 10 builders. Those 10 builders will bring you 750. 750 people will bring you 100 builders into each leg of your business. And from there, your business is literally on autopilot. Now, the question is, knowing what I've just shown you, what can NWP do to help you achieve this success? Let me have your ideas. What would you like to see happen in January that NWP can help you with? And if you are listening to the recording of this call, send me a message. Put the message on the group. Tell us what we can do as NWP to help you achieve this success. What are we missing? What would you like? What do you need to achieve these goals so that you can have a nice, solid business? Let us know. So is there nothing NWP can do that will help you achieve your goals quicker? From your perspective, what do people need? What would they like? So for those of you listening to the recording, that's the kind of questions I'm asking is, what do you think people want? What do you think they need? And if we have those ideas, perhaps we can tailor things to help you so that you can get what people need. We give you something that you can actually work with that will really help you build your business. So think about it and let me know. Don't think we'll have a meeting next week because obviously that's close to Christmas. So we'll resume our meeting in the new year. Let us have your ideas because I can always get that through to the company. If there's anything you need or any ideas that you think will work in the marketplace, let me know. And otherwise, do have a good evening. Have a good Christmas if I don't see you on a Zoom before then. And all the best, and we shall see you in the new year on our training calls. Thank you very much, and good night.